Let's take a look at the Biko Wright signature card. Biko Wright is a survival expert. He was the runner-up on the Season 8 Alone show. Like all the Grimm cards, the Biko Wright signature card is stainless steel, is small enough to fit in the credit card slot of your wallet or in a small personal survival tin. The back of the card, if you remove this white backer, is permanently adhesive. You can attach this to something and it's always there when you need it. All the tools come out. They're all going to be usable. And then you can reattach them to the card with the tool retention system. Put it back on the card. It's on there till you need it next time. Now with all these tools, the first time you take them out, there's a small metal tab you have to break through. And you usually just have to work through a little bit to get it off. And once that comes off, then it just reattaches and is attached by the backer. So I do like originality when I look at a survival card. And I've seen a lot of cool things before, but I have never seen a guitar pick on a survival card before. So there's a look at the guitar pick, and you see Biko's signature on there. Now a guitar pick is something I have no use for anytime, let alone in a survival situation. But this guitar pick is designed to be used as a fishing lure also. So you can see we've got holes in there to attach it to your fishing line. I could also use the file that's on the knife to sharpen this and actually use it as an arrowhead. So besides the guitar pick, the most dominant feature is definitely going to be Biko's choice of knife. So Biko's knife kind of has that utility knife design to it. Just a straight point. We have a saw back. The face of this is actually a file as well. The design of the knife, it's kind of a finger and a half. This is a little bit more than a finger, but Biko is a pretty big guy, so his hands are probably a little bit larger than mine. But I'm fitting a finger and a half on here, and I do wear a large glove. There's also holes on the handle, and you could use that for a couple different things. You could attach a stick to that and either reach up and cut a wild edible that was out of reach. You could possibly use that as a spear, but personally I would have a handle for this. So I would attach a full-size stick as wide as my hand, and it would be a lot more controllable than just using a one-finger hold. So we've got the guitar pick as a lure. We also have another lure up in the top corner. So this is a much smaller lure. This would probably be more applicable to the types of waters that I fish more often. Now to work with those lures, we have 4 small fishing hooks. So there's a pretty good look at the barbed hook. And you notice the eye on these Grimm hooks are a little bit oversized. That's great. I love that feature because a lot of times I don't have standard fishing line with me. So I can be improvising inner strands of paracord or bank line or a natural cordage. Once that hook's put away, we can see I've got 2 curved needles. So these curved needles a lot of times are called sutures. You do not want me suturing you up in the woods. I can definitely use a curved needle like this to sew a hide or to repair any of my gear. So I'm always happy to have a needle handy. The body of the card also has a line wrap. So we can see there's small indentations on either end. So you would start your line on one of these 2 holes, wrap your fishing line on, and it's going to be there when you need it. Also, to help you craft a knife handle or maybe a gig handle that I'm going to show you in a minute, there is a saw on the bottom edge of the card. My absolute favorite part of the card are these fishing spears. So there's 2 of these spears included. This is the larger one. And I love the design of this. We can see the back side. I've got holes as well as indentations for lashing this onto a stick or an arrow. This is something I absolutely would mount this onto an arrowhead and either use a sling card or a bow, and I would be shooting fish and frogs with this all day long. So my favorite part about this design is this back barb here, and that does a couple things for me. It's slender, so if I've got smaller fish or if I don't have a perfect hit, a smaller tip is going to penetrate the fish better. But with this recoiled edge like this reversed edge, I can also use this like a gaff. So you see a lot of times when you're hand fishing, when the fish comes up out of the water, most of the time you don't have a landing net with you, and that's when people lose the fish. With a gaff like this or fish spear that can be used similar to a gaff, I can come into the fish, hook it in the gills, and actually now I've got 2 points of contact. I've got the hook in its mouth, and I've got a hold of the gill on a stick. That's going to definitely help me land more fish. So the Biko Wright signature card is a very solid, well thought out card. I've got food covered with this. I've got 2 fantastic spears. Because I've got 2, I'm more likely to attach one to an arrow or an atlatl, where I'm actually sending this thing into deep water. I've got 4 hooks as well as 2 lures. With that knife with a sawback, that's going to be outstanding for making primitive traps. And with the 2 curved needles, I'm going to be able to repair my own gear and do first aid if necessary. The Biko Wright card is going to be a great choice to have with you in a wilderness emergency.